All right. Bottom of the ninth. Approaching midnight on the East Coast. Hunter Greene heads out to the mound for what could possibly be a complete game. I really hope we get this done. Boy, I tell you what, is he feeling it? I just noticed, but I like the belt. He's wearing a gray belt with a HG on the front with a red, like a red front. What a...
Wait till you see this pitch.
Nice.
Oh, man.
That was just, hey, here it is. Hit it. 99 miles an hour.
He's fired up, too.
I'm running on on a long day here. I think I'm running on what is, let's see here, 16 hours right now. 16 hours, 16 and a half hours is where I'm at. So, brain's not firing on all cylinders.
I only have like 6 pages of notes tonight, so I'll keep it brief.
Good. Yeah, good. All right, let's let him hit it. You're ahead of me, obviously, so how much you're ahead, I don't know.
I'll pause. I just got a pitch clock. I'm on a 2-1.
Yep, 2-1.
I paused it at 10, so let me know when you
right.
see it. You got like 3 seconds.
I got 13, 12, 11, 10,
Bang.
9, 8.
Yeah, we're pretty close. You weren't that far behind. Yes, sir.
Nice. That's an out. Catch it. I know the lights are bright. Good for you, Blake. Done.
I feel like Hunter Greene would have a 1.3 ERA if he pitched to this ballpark all year.
Oh, yeah. It does feel that way. Like, I was actually thinking to myself, man, I tell you, if you're Hunter Greene, you leave these ballparks thinking to yourself, like, wow, it's a lot easier out here.
I got to get out of Cincinnati.
Yeah, I mean, those little fly balls to right field aren't even remotely close out here.
Whew.
Nice pitch, dude. This dude is just dealing.
Oh, man.
Dude, this is incredible. Finish the job. Come on. Finish the job. Not like a 99-mile-an-hour middle. Just throw him the heater, Ricky. Nah, don't overthrow it. Come on. Come on, Hunter. Oh, what a pitch. How did he not swing at that? Damn, how did he not swing at that? Come on, Hunter. You got to give him credit. Challenged him. I like it. Challenged him.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. We're not freaking out over one hit here.
I'm giving him one more.
Yeah, at least. I mean, his his pitches have been solid. He's not been laboring. He's. I'm not going to let it go more than this guy, though. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm good at the Chapman.
I don't know if I want to see Helio Ramos get a fourth at bat against Green. Yeah.
Gosh,
What?
Come on, Hunter. Boy. 100 on an hour in the ninth inning is just crazy. 100th pitch, 100 miles an hour. I don't like how Trevino, the last two changeups or sliders that he's thrown, he's deked like he was throwing a high fastball. I'm going to need him to actually do that for a high fastball once here soon.
Here we go, Hunter. Fastball up and in.
I just, honestly, that slider low and away would do it. Missed it. Wasn't close. Please. He's just not around it. Come on. You don't have to make a perfect pitch. Just make a good pitch. I'll tell you what, their crowd is doing a really good job. I mean, they really are.
They have great support in San Francisco. Yeah, you got to go get him, man.
Yeah, I think you got to do it.
All right, Tony. It's big.
What an outing. What a freaking stud, dude.
Would have made it a lot easier if Santiago Espinal would have pinch hit for Gavin Lux. With
I had a brain fart
the third
there
run
because
on.
I didn't realize that obviously Fraley got scratched, and I just yeah. I get it. I mean, basically at that point you're going to play the game of pinch hit Espinal, and then
Lux is playing second base too, so you have a better defender in the game too with the lead.
Well, he's going to have to hit against right-handed pitcher though, which I guess at that point you're going to.
No, it was a lefty.
Was he? I know, but was that his third? Was it his third hitter?
No, that was only his second hitter.
All right, so
I think
I double checked that.
And that okay, maybe that's a. Well, he walked Ellie. Maybe he did. Maybe that would have been his fourth batter because he intentionally walked Ellie.
Yeah, he intentionally walked Ellie, and then he got to.
Yeah, you know what? That's still tough. I don't know.
Here's what I say: the guy is incredibly tough on left-handed hitters, right? Like he's.
And you don't need a hit. You need to put the ball in play. And I think Espinal with the right-handed pitcher is still probably more likely to put the ball in play. Yeah, it's a good catch by you. I don't think I didn't catch that in real because they intentionally walked Ellie. So it
still goes back to the point that you need at some point a healthy roster. Like you can't keep playing men down. And I guess McLean, you don't want to put him on the 15-day IL because he's ready to go maybe tomorrow. Well, if he's ready to go maybe by tomorrow, then like could he possibly just at least hit in the 8th inning one time and jog down to first base? I mean, if he's that close to being able to play the next day, it would seem to me.
Or could you burn two players there and hit Matt McLean and bring in Espinal to the field? I mean, that feels like a shot where you might just take your best shot there and try to add on.
Yeah. No, it was a huge spot. It was a huge spot.
Consequential.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't matter. All right, come on.
Come on, Tony.
Listen, we need to put the ball in
we
the
need
strike
likes.
zone. And we need likes. Put the
Likes
ball in the
for
strike
strikes.
zone. Put the ball in the strike zone. And let's go from there. I'm assuming the outfield is playing pretty deep to try to make sure that
in this ballpark,
that you can try to stop him from scoring from first, obviously. We need this so bad. Like, we have to have this. Come on, Tony. We need it, dude. Please, Tony. Just throw a ball over the plate.
Hermes! Hermes!
Oh, gosh, dude.
Defense! Defense, Trace! Good defense!
If you can't,
Good defense!
if you can't score runs, I guess the alternative is to make sure the other team doesn't score any. That's the plan moving forward. Shut them out. Find a way. I'm damn near dead. But I do know this. We get to run the intro, and I'm going to try to recoup after this. We'll see you in just a second.
Johnny Bench has tied it up. The Cincinnati Reds win the World Series in four straight. It was a sweep.
In the dirt, it's a wild pitch. Here comes Fowler. The Reds win the pennant.
Larkins won the game. That ball is fair. Cincinnati's ahead. 2 games to none. Welcome, Joe Landa to Cincinnati. Adam Dunn has done it again.
Benzinger backing and calling. And the 1990 World Championship belongs to the Cincinnati Reds.
Marty, yes. This is Adam from Milwaukee. Hey, Adam, how you doing? I'm good. How are you? Good. Do you think Scott Chatterbox is a good player?
Dunn up there with the bases loaded. The outfield deep and around toward right to the 1-0 on the way to the plate. Swung on. Long drive. Right field. And this one belongs to the Reds.
And a high drive. Hit back into deep right field. Junior has just knocked the door down to the 500 club.
Benson's first home run is a walk-off winner. That ball had a family.
And De La Cruz is, oh my goodness, look at this kid run. My, oh my, that is a triple.
Matt McClain's first big league bomb.
Spencer Steer's first big league hit is a home run to straightaway center field. Joey Votto's done it again.
The pitch. Votto swings high in the air. Right field. Yes! He pointed to the dugout to say, I told you. That is Joey Votto's 315th career go-ahead ribby. Only Johnny Bench had more as a Red.
And I can't tell you how much it means to play in front of everyone here in Cincinnati as a Red. What a gift. What a tremendous gift. So thank you. Thank you.
I think I can speak for all of Reds country. Joey Votto, thank you.
High drive. Left center field. Racing back to the Laurent Bourgeois. The Reds are National League Central Division champions. In the air, left center field. Did he? He did! He did! Red win! Win! Line to the right field. Genius, the first Red ever with 4 home runs in a game. Can you believe it?
All right, Nick, if you're going to stay up this late, by God, you hope they win, and they found a way. They found a way. It wasn't the most pleasant, perhaps, at times during this game. It felt like the same old, but it doesn't matter in the end. The Reds win 2-0 on a nightcap of all nightcaps and almost dawning a fresh morning here in Cincinnati. Reds win 2-0. Nick, a couple things broke the Reds' way, and ultimately at the end of the day, it was pitching and a defensive play certainly at the end of the game that made a world of difference. I know that perhaps some would say that's a normal routine play that Hurtaby's just made. I would venture to say it's probably not routine, probably be a play that you'd like to see him make. But I do know this, Nick. If he doesn't catch that ball, we're probably having a completely different show.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't have to find out if that was a routine play for Spencer Steer or Gavin Lux out in left field. And we don't have to go through those scenarios. But, yeah, Reds finally catch a break. I mean, when you're in the middle of a streak like last week, it's like, this team's just terrible. They're never going to win. And then today they catch a pitcher that just flat out didn't have it, walked the world, and Blake Dunn had a massive hit. And obviously Hunter Greene just absolutely dominated. And thank God I don't have to come on here and try to say how good of a pitcher Logan Webb is.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great pitcher. That's the thing. He's a great pitcher, not a good pitcher. He's a great pitcher. And I was thinking to myself, here we go again. But the truth of the matter is we don't have to discuss that all that much tonight. We can get into some more important things, maybe some more fun topics. But I'm sure some of the question marks that we've had around this game will rear their head at some point during this show. But we're going to keep it light, keep it positive. The Reds won. We need to enjoy that when they do it. 2-0, Nick. Give the folks probably, I don't know how you're going to clean this up. Perhaps you'll clean it up this late at night. My guess is you might let this thing rip for the podcast in the morning. So do your best to let the people that went to bed early exactly what happened.
Trace, I mean, when the Reds win a game at this point of the season, we'll clean it up for the podcast tomorrow. If they would have lost, they would have got whatever come, but we'll do the best we can. All right, I got a good first couple paragraphs, so we'll roll here. All right, Reds set on the Giants, game 1 of 3 in San Francisco. Reds enter having lost 5 of 6, taking on the Giants, who entered with the best record in baseball at 8-1. Reds had a good scoring chance early in the second inning against Logan Webb. Christian Encarnacion Strand led off with a hard-hit single. And then after Candelario grounded into a fielder's choice, Spencer Steer singled to put runners on the corners with 1 out. Hurtaby struck out, and then the Reds ran themselves out of an inning when Steer was caught leaning, resulting in Candelario getting thrown out at the plate. And then Logan Webb would pretty much just cook the Reds from the rest of the night. He retired 16 of the final 17 batters he faced. But thankfully for the Reds, Hunter Greene was even better than Logan Webb. Hunter Greene goes a career high 8 2/3 inning. He had never gotten through 8 innings before. He goes 8 2/3, 4 hits, no runs. The only walk he surrendered was the last batter that he faced in the 9th inning. More on that in a second. 7 strikeouts, just a dominant performance by Hunter Greene. In the top of the 8th, the Reds caught one of their rare breaks early this season. The Giants brought in Camilo Duvall, their former closer that's kind of fallen out of grace. He just did not have his command at all. He walked Steer. He hit Hurtaby's with a pitch, and then Trevino laid down a sac bunt. The Giants then went to a lefty. TJ Friedel walked, and then Blake Dunn, the biggest hit of the year so far for the Reds, at least up there, a double to bring home 2 runs, put the Reds up 2-0. Ellie would be intentionally walked, and then Gavin Lux would strike out, and CES would fly out to end the inning. And then back to the 9th, Hunter Greene got the first 2 outs, but wasn't able to finish the job. 2 runners left on base. Looked a little dicey with Tony Santi on in because 3 of the first 4 pitches were balls. Down 3-1 in the count. He got Helio Ramos to fly out on a pitch that was right down the middle. But nonetheless, Reds win, Trace, 2-0. The Reds, the only team that has beaten the San Francisco Giants so far this season.
Yeah, the deep drive of the day has to be our main man, Blake Dunn. It might not have been a home run, but it was the biggest hit of his life. I don't think that's hyperbole. I think that's the dead honest truth. Blake Dunn A 2 RBI double right down the right field line in the top of the 8th inning would give the Reds a 2-0 lead, jumping their win probability 23% up to 91%. As we all know, that would be the difference. The Reds would go on to win 2-0, making their win probability for those at home 100%. The deep drive of the day is sponsored by DSC, and they are a leader in renewable commodities for biofuel production, specializing in used cooking oil collection, aggregation, and sales. Visit www.deepsouthcommodities.com for more information. Listen, Nick, there's a lot of things to probably, get excited about from time to time with this team. Hunter Greene, it has to be the lead. I think that there's some other things that happened in this game that were, fun. We could talk about Blake Dunn in a minute. But this guy is a, if you have kids in the car, I'm sorry. He's just a badass. Like, that's the only real phrase that I can come up with right now at basically midnight of how I feel about Hunter Greene. Just certifiably shoved it right down their throat all night long and just, for the most part, challenged guys. There wasn't a whole lot of cuteness to it. That's the beautiful part about watching Hunter Greene throw right now, is that it's just, here it comes, best of luck hitting it. And it feels like Hunter Greene has honestly gotten to the point in his career now where he just feels like he's a dude. The confidence exudes from Hunter Greene. I think, honest to God, that he expects to do this now. I don't know if it's realistic to continue to do this, if we're being honest. But every single start has looked very much the same. And Cy Young is a very, very lofty goal, right? I think it's probably unrealistic to say anyone's going to win a Cy Young at the beginning of a year, unless they're obviously a Hall of Famer in their prime. Hunter Greene is headed down that path. Now, obviously a lot can happen. I'm not trying to jinx anything. But that's how damn good he looks. Tonight, after saying all I just said, might have been the best start I've ever seen him have. That's, if you didn't see the game, that's how I feel about it. Nick, any other thoughts that you want to add from Hunter's perspective?
His slider was just unbelievable tonight. I mean, the command that he felt like he had of his slider was, I don't know if I've ever seen that before. Just, it was completely dominant. The Giants, they swung at 18 of his sliders. 11 of them they missed. That's a 61% rate. I believe the number is like 35%, maybe 30% is good. I have to double check that, but it's really good. He got 19 swing and misses on the night, which is just unbelievable. Definitely got some help from the ballpark. They give up a lot of hard hit balls, but as I've said over and over and over again on this show, when you play in a big ballpark like that, if you don't walk guys, you create your own luck. And Hunter Greene did not walk a guy the entire game until the last batter, when he just probably flat out ran out of gas. But I mean, it's just the contract the Reds got for Hunter Greene is just unbelievable. I mean, just what an unreal pitcher. And if you want to have hope in the Cincinnati Reds, Hunter Greene is right up at the top of why you should have hope in this team.
No doubt. I mean, listen, tonight is a perfect example of when we had discussed last night on the podcast about how, you might want to kind of cycle these things out and have Hunter Greene go against perhaps some other starters so you feel like you have a much better chance of winning. It can also happen in reverse, and we've been very close to having that happen a few times this year. Obviously, the 1-0 losses burn bad, but if you find a way to win 2-1, you find a way to win 2-0 like you did tonight, those things can obviously drastically change the outlook of the season, because you'd like to think at some point, Nick, that this offense will start to step up. Tonight, Blake Dunn did so. The question I have for you as we move forward here is, how much does that moment help Blake Dunn get in regards of opportunity? Because it seems like Hurtubise and Dunn have always just kind of been in a spot where they've not been given a fair chance. They feel like they're the backup quarterback that wasn't the highly rated recruit that came in. And although, when they come in garbage time from time to time and they looked really good, they still don't replace the struggling starter. And I'm not here trying to say that the other guys that are in front of him are stars, because they're not. But this is a situation now, depending on how hurt Fraley is, do you feel like this is the silver lining or the crack in the I guess armor to give Blake Dunn a chance?
Well, I don't know about his entire role, but this at bat in this game was exactly what you wanted Blake Dunn to provide you. It was against a left-handed pitcher. Blake Dunn, throughout his minor league career, has hit lefties really well. Is he a platoon bat? Is he an everyday player? He probably is a platoon bat, but given where the Reds outfield is right now, I don't have any issue with finding out for sure if he's not more than a platoon bat or more than a platoon bat. But yeah, I mean, this was exactly the spot you were hoping Blake Dunn could deliver. Like when you cut Stuart Fairchild, you needed someone to take that role. This would have been Stuart Fairchild's role in 2024, and for Blake Dunn to come through in that spot was just huge. With Ellie behind him, I mean, Ellie would have been facing a tough left-handed pitcher. So, if Dunn doesn't come through there, the Reds were in a great spot, but it could have got dicey really quick. So, I'm excited for Blake Dunn, just a guy that had so much brutal luck last year. Right. 2023 is the Reds minor league player of the year. 2024, the guy gets hit on the head 3 times. Just everything that went wrong for him. So good for him. And I'm all for giving him an opportunity. I don't know how he'll do, but I think it's worth it.
It could also be worth it, depending on the health of guys. The other thing, too, clearly Will Benson, I think, deserves an opportunity at some point. If it seems overdue. Jacob Hurtubise shows tonight, once again, I guess, if you will, why he has a chance to kind of be a fringe big leaguer at times. He obviously showcased the defense in the 9th inning, but I also felt like he's overmatched. Listen, Logan Webb is going to make guys look bad. Like, that's why I also felt like tonight when those guys got the start, I'm like, oh, yeah, yippee for those two. Hey, here's your opportunity, guys. Go out there and knock them out of the park. Let's see how you can do. So I don't think it's much of a fair assessment when you have to go against Webb, but I would also say that he found a way to get on base. I know he got hit. I know he got hit right in the knee, but that's what he does. That's kind of what he does. I don't know how he does it, but he gets hit, and he finds a way to get on base. He walks. He hits those little slap singles. And that's, to be honest, when you look at his numbers throughout, the minor leagues at times, that's what made him interesting. And it's kind of like this. You don't like the way that it looks, but you like the result of it. So what do you prefer more, the result or the look? Now, clearly, to be fair, Hurtubise is not given much of a leash to know whether or not he's capable of delivering this time and time and time again. So I'm not going to sit here and act like Hurtubise is a for sure big leaguer. But ultimately tonight, just very fortunate. I just want to say that out loud. Very fortunate. Much of the same things that we've been complaining about all year happened tonight too. We had base running mistakes. We had inabilities. We had inabilities to drive guys in when we had opportunities. We had the analytical community probably up in arms at times because we decided that we were going to let Gavin Lux hit lefty on lefty in a spot that felt like it was very critical. But you know what? The Reds won, so we kind of just gloss all over that. And I'm not here to. My point is, I'm not here to say we need to talk about all of that, but I'm also here to say, hey, let's not fool ourselves into thinking that a lot of the things that we're upset about just got completely wiped away because Hunter Greene is that guy. Simply put. Anything else you want to add before we jump into game time and 988?
No.
All right. I just looked at this and I honestly 450 by the way on a 12:13 in the morning.
There's
West Coast
people watching this.
450. It's the most remarkable thing I've ever seen is this crew that we call Chatterbox Reds. You guys are quite literally unbelievable. I mean, every time I think to myself, like, oh man, we're gonna But is nobody going to be there because it's just, I don't know, 12:15 in the middle of the night? How many people just didn't even watch the game? And then they're going to wake up tomorrow and they're like, wow, the Reds, they won 2-0. Hunter Greene threw what? 8 2/3 inning. Yeah, the dude was like walking out there in the ninth with about 80 pitches. Where's the crowd out? I'm wondering where the crowd is, by the way, that yells and screams about Hunter Greene not being able to get anywhere because he, I don't know, he throws too many pitches or whatever. That crowd probably, you know what? Just say I would just like hand up. I would say this. If you thought Hunter Greene wasn't that guy, just raise your hand and just say, sorry, I was wrong. Let's move on.
I had just opened Twitter like a second ago, and someone had replied to someone's reply of one of my tweets about Hunter Greene, and I'm pretty sure it was from that start at Seattle, saying how terrible Hunter Greene is. So it's funny that you just said that. It was like I'm literally looking at. Yep.
Yeah.
Not me. I would never personally go back and find anything that anyone said. I'm a stand-up guy.
Yeah, what a unique game it is. It's a game of really fine margins. Finally here before we jump in. Blake Dunn, 1 for 4, 2-run double, hero. Somehow he pops that ball up millimeters of an inch, call it 10 millimeters underneath the ball instead of where he hit it. He pops up to first base and he's should be sent back down to AAA. It's kind of a crazy thing that we do here on Reds fandom. All right, game time. If you are in a situation where you need tickets, perhaps you're looking to go to the ball yard, there's not a better ticketing app in the game than Game Time. I personally like the the 2 clicks. You basically can click on the ticket you want, click checkout, you're in, you're out, you're gone. You got your tickets. They're delivered digitally directly to you, so you don't have to worry about dealing with any kind of hassles when it comes to that. I've used it many of times. Use the code CBox. That's CBOX. You get $20 off your first purchase. And Game Time, quite literally, is a simplistic app to use, and it's got many of features that you probably enjoy. And as I said before, I like the idea of just being able to get in there and get out relatively quick, get straight to the point, know what tickets I'm looking for, and move on. Nick, Game Time app. You got any favorites? You got anything that you like on it?
Well, first off, you got to mention that Game Time is the official ticketing partner of Chatterbox Sports.
Official.
The best spot for last-minute tickets. That's the great thing is that you can find tickets there at the last minute. I know a lot of people, it's hard to plan. When you got a million things going on, you don't know when you're able to get to the ballpark. You can hop on the Game Time app literally as you're driving down to the ballpark and find some tickets. All-in pricing. They show you your total before or with fees before you check out. That's great. Event cancellation protection, the lowest price guaranteed, or they'll credit you 110% of the difference. So you have to take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code CBox for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code CBox, CBOX for $20 off your first purchase.
Yeah, I mean, listen, thank God that code's as easy as CBox, CBOX. Otherwise, Nick would be in real big trouble.
We had a different code last year. It's him.
That is true.
The head, man.
That is true.
In the head, I'm screwed.
That is true. 988. As always, we're here day or night. Text and or call after wins, after losses. Perhaps you never know when you may need it. It's always there. It's okay to not be okay. Mantherapy.org is another resource available to you if you do need it. All right, Nick. Back half of the rundown. I'm running on. I think honestly 17 and a half hours at this point. I got to be back at Prasco Park. Shout out to the Joe Nuxall Classic. You can watch that tomorrow on Chatterbox. Watch CBox.com. We will be doing both games tomorrow, and then we'll be doing both games the following day. I said the following day because at this point I can't even know what days tomorrow. We're in Tuesday now, or we're in Wednesday? Who knows what
It's
day?
currently Tuesday.
Thank you.
Currently Tuesday.
All right. So, Tuesday and Wednesday we'll have games that you guys can watch. I believe the Wright State Raiders are playing the Miami Redhawks, and Cincinnati is playing the Xavier Musketeers. All right, Luck's first left-handed pitching. We had mentioned there, kind of teased it. I didn't like the idea of it, but I also kind of understood it after I had remembered that Jake Fraley got scratched. Obviously, if Jake Fraley didn't get scratched, this makes no sense to me. So, to lay the stage, you got a huge scoring opportunity there in the 8th inning. Yes, you already got 2 in, but you have a couple runners in scoring position. Lux comes up to the plate, lefty on lefty, and also a lefty that has really been difficult to hit versus left-handed pitchers. I think Sadak, I don't know the number right off the head, but Sadak had mentioned, I think he's like 180 is the average against him as a left-handed hitter. On top of that, Lux clearly is not a guy that has very good splits against left-handed pitching. You'd think, it seems obvious, you got to bring in the right-handed hitting, whoever you want in. The options were simple. You had Espinal and you had McLean. I guess the question is McLean available or not? Because it seems like if McLean is available, then you got to go to him there and give him an opportunity. And then obviously you can sub him out for Espinal to play second base. As far as Jake Fraley being scratched, I think that's where everything changes, though, Nick, because ultimately if McLean's not available, Fraley's not available, yes, I said that right, you got 2 guys on the bench that can't play, then all you're left with is Austin Wynns and Espinal, and they're going to bring a right-handed pitcher in, and now you're in a spot where, Espinal is facing a right-handed pitcher. I guess we still both believe we think we still would have done it. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think you have to take your shot there. You're saving players for situations that you might need later. We know that there's the 3rd run sitting on third base with less than 2 outs. I think in a perfect world, if Matt McLean can swing, you bring him in. Even if you have to burn him, then you bring in Santiago Espinal to play second base. Santiago Espinal is going to be a better defender than Gavin Lux, and you have the lead. So it's not like you're losing anything there. You're not setting Gavin Lux up for success. As soon as that at bat, Gavin Lux sucks. Gavin Lux sucks. Gavin Lux was not traded to the Cincinnati Reds to face Eric Miller in the 8th inning with a runner on third base and less than 2 outs. Like, that's just not his role. So you're not setting him up for success at all. I just did not understand at all. Thankfully, it didn't bite the Reds, but it was one swing of the bat from Helio Ramos away from costing the Reds the game tonight.
Yeah, it was. That's the type of stuff that I feel like on this show, we try to do a good job of saying the truth no matter the outcome or the result, right? Like, if you get so indebted of just looking at the results every single time, then I think you miss the big picture sometimes. And the truth of the matter is that, Santion's going to get praised for closing the door, but he threw a middle fastball. If that thing gets hit out of the park by something that's not in his control, it's quite literally just the hitter's capability of squaring that ball up, this night is completely upside down. We are completely beside ourselves over multiple things, and this is one of them. So I think it's fair to bring up. I think it's also fair to say that, Espinal, to be clear, is a guy that at least puts the ball in play, and I think in a spot like that, you probably want to take your chances on finding a guy that's going to put the ball in play. Now, I'll also say, Gavin Lux, I do think that perhaps Tito believes in him, and I think he almost is trying to. And I'll give Tito some credit here, right? I'm going to try to paint the picture of why Tito is doing what he's doing, even though perhaps it makes no statistical sense. There might be something where he's wanting to instill a belief in Gavin Lux that he can do this. And we'll see how long he's going to continue to do that. But that's the only thing that makes sense in this scenario. And I'm not saying I guess I am saying I don't believe in that. I think it's wrong, but I can understand where Tito's coming from if that's what he's wanting to do, especially when you say, okay, what's your second best option? Oh, it's Espinal hitting against a right-handed pitcher. I kind of see where he's going there, but still would have taken Espinal with a chance to put the ball in play.
Yeah, that's 100% what he's trying to do is show some confidence in him, but I don't think striking out in a big spot, and if it would have cost the Reds the game, it's really going to put a whole lot of confidence in him either. So
He did have a good at bat though, Nick. Like he had a pretty good at bat. Like he fought hard. I thought he laid off some tough pitches, and it's just unfortunate for him that clearly lefty on lefty is a tough spot there. He did strike out looking, but in a weird way, Nick, it's almost like Terry Francona was just one bad pitch away from ball 4 right there, and all of a sudden he looks like the hero because Lux battled through a walk and he believed in him, and look what he did. It's just like the margins are so small in this game right now that we are quite literally getting into the weeds of all of this, and perhaps that's why people enjoy this show. But I think I'm just saying, as much as we want to say it was a bad decision for Lux to hit, in the group chat we said it before it happened. To be fair to us, this wasn't really like second guessing, but I'm going to openly say that Lux did have a pretty solid at bat. If he would have walked, we probably aren't making as big of a deal about this either. So, anyway, that's that.
Yeah, Lux has great at bats. I mean, that's his calling card. I mean, he doesn't chase pitches. That's what he does best. He's going to have a lot more success against right-handed pitching. But my last point on this is, so let's play it out. All right. So Gavin Lux against a left-handed pitcher, career 57 OPS plus. Santiago Espinal against a right-handed pitcher, 85 OPS plus.
Right. So 30, about almost 30% better. Yeah, I think sometimes, Nick, I know maybe a lot of people that listen to the show, they don't understand the OPS plus part. To break this down relatively simply, 100 is league average. So anything below 100 is, below average in the league as a whole. And they kind of take you can obviously Google all this and figure it out yourself. I'm not going to go through the advanced analytics. Are we going to call OPS plus advanced analytics anymore anyways? I don't know. But having said that, you are gaining a statistical advantage by putting Espinal in the first place. And then I think you even gain a greater statistical advantage when you go into probably, if I had to guess, if you go into the baseball savant, my best guess is that Santiago Espinal's whiff rate or whiff percentage in those same scenarios is significantly less. So that's here nor there. All right, jumping into injuries here before we make this a 2-hour show in the middle of the night on Tuesday, I think it is. Nick, I'll let you run through the injuries just so we can kind of get a good understanding of where the Reds are.
Yeah, there's just so many injury updates today that I thought it was probably worthwhile to put this into the show. Matt McClain did test the hamstring running prior to the game on Monday, so no official word if he's back in the lineup tomorrow. I certainly hope that he is. Austin Hayes is officially starting a rehab assignment on April 10th. So that is what day is that? That's Thursday? I don't know, later this week. So that's obviously a very good sign. Alexis Diaz is going to make 2 more rehab appearances. And then Tyler Stevenson had a positive MRI is what they called it. He is officially resuming baseball activity. So maybe finally some stuff there. And then obviously I didn't put on here, but Jake Fraley was officially scratched. Yeah.
Private jet is what I'd be saying right now. Private jet.
Where are you? Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just say, if this is a serious franchise, and I'm not trying to play that card too often here, there'd be a private jet that would be pulling up somewhere near Louisville, and there would be somebody named Will Benson getting in that private jet, and they'd be flying across the country, and we'd be putting a guy on the IL. That's what we would be doing.
Trace, where are you at on the Matt McClain to the IL? That's what I saw all over social media before the game was he hasn't played since Friday. You have to just put him on the IL playing shorthanded. I'll take my chances playing shorthanded and if I get 4 or 5 games out of Matt McClain, given where this team's at right now. Now, if Jake Fraley has a cold, I'll put him on the IL. But Matt McClain, I don't really care about playing short. If the Reds feel like there's a legitimate chance, he's not going to need the whole IL stint to come back. If they think he's for sure going to play on Wednesday, there's no way in hell I'm putting him on the IL because there's no other option that's even remotely close to Matt McClain.
I agree. I'd also say that my theory on this changed when the fact that he pinch hit against the Brewers the other night and hit a ball, 102 miles an hour off the bat and went 400 feet to center field and it was the the hardest hit ball of the game, I think it was. So clearly there's not too big of an issue there for them to want to try to hit him in a big spot, which makes me wonder why he didn't hit in that same big spot tonight. But again, I get your point. I understand the fandom's point. I think I lie on the side of taking the chance of making sure if I'm going to put him on a 15-day IL that he actually legitimately isn't going to come back in a day or two, because then like you said, you're going to lose him for 8 extra days that you otherwise wouldn't have before for the chance to maybe miss him for another day or two. This is where, though, they have ruined this for some guys. They have ruined this. They have done this in the past, and we have gone a week to, call it 10 days at times, where they have played shorthanded because, he'll be back. There's a chance he comes back tomorrow. I don't know who's making those decisions. I really don't. But whoever it is, they're not very good at guessing. And maybe it's just been bad luck. But Matt McClain, if he's not in the lineup within the next 2 days, Nick, you kind of start to scratch your head on the fan base might be right. If he plays in within the next 2 days, then you feel like the Reds were right. But there's certainly a line in the sand that's coming up here soon on who made the right decision, whether they should put him on the IL or not. And obviously you can always retroactively do it, but they can't retroactively do it all the way back because he pinch hit for one game. So they're going to have to go back to when he pinch hit. So they're already losing a couple of days on the IL that he pretty much didn't play. So it's not an easy situation to be a part of. But I'll say this, if Jake Fraley isn't on the IL and he's supposedly unavailable for more than one game, I might, at some point, Nick, we have to put our hands up and just say, is this a serious franchise at times? And I know that seems like a far-fetched thing to say, but this isn't the first time they've done this. And by God, Jake Fraley, we already don't think he belongs on the roster. So you add in the fact that he's hurt and he's making us play a man down, that is inexcusable. It quite literally is inexcusable. I'm not. Very rarely do I go hard in the paint on the front office, as you know, Nick. Very rarely do I want to blame everybody in the front office for the way the thing's gone. Even in the offseason, people are yelling about the outfield and you got to go get somebody in the center. I don't know what the leash they're given. I don't know what they're given, so I don't try to kill them. I'm going to kill them if they do not have Jake Fraley on the IL tomorrow. And they're not going to. They're going to wait till the series is over.
Yeah, I'm with you. That would be pretty bad to play shorthanded, not send someone on a flight, because they knew it by 5 p.m. tonight. The second Jake Fraley's got something, hey, sorry, bud, you haven't hit well enough. You're going on the IL. Get someone out here. These games are important. You're facing your most favorable matchup, a right-handed pitcher tomorrow. Same thing I said on Sunday. Facing a favorable right-handed pitcher in Milwaukee. You didn't call up Will Benson for that game, and you lost that game. Now, would Will Benson have won the game? Probably not. But it could very well happen tomorrow where and you can't be screwing around. So, yeah, I'm 100% with you. It would be inexcusable.
And I would also say, Nick, even if they felt like they didn't want to take the chance on getting Will Benson out of his groove, because you're gonna fly him all the way across the country for just one game, and then basically make him turn around and fly back. Then honestly, I know this sounds. Then send someone else. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. I need a fresh body out there, not someone that is incapable of playing. And for those that might tell me that seems like a pretty crazy low percentage play to do all of that just to send a guy out and send him back. Well, then what are we doing? This is professional baseball. If you can't afford to fly somebody out to the West Coast and then have them fly back, and you're saying it's probably just a waste, then I guess we just don't see eye to eye on the way you should probably run a franchise. But that's here nor there. Anything that you want to jump into before we do the who, what, when, where, and why?
No.
All right, let's do it.
Let's go. All right, who, what, when, where, and why? Reds taking on the Giants. Another 9:45 start on Tuesday. It'll be Nick Lodolo going up against Landon Rope. Where am I at here? Sorry. Roop. Landon Roop. I wrote down the pronunciation, but I couldn't scroll fast enough. All right, this will be Landon's 6th career MLB start. His only start of 2025 was against the Astros, 4 innings, 3 runs, walked 4 batters, but did strike out a career high 8 batters. This was a guy that was kind of used in the bullpen most of last year, but did get 5 starts at the end of last season. Kind of was a surprising 5th starter for the Giants over guys like Kyle Harrison, who's hurt, and Hayden Birdsong, who's in their bullpen. Landon Roop relies on 4 pitches, a curveball, sinker, changeup, and cutter. Sinker averages 93.6, and he's never faced the Reds. Reds, of course, will have Nick Lodolo on the mound, a 1.42 ERA. Pitched very well against the Giants on the opening series, 6 innings, 2 runs, no walks. Did only strike out 1 batter, kind of that weird start. Then followed that up with another great start against the Brewers, 6 2/3 innings, no runs, no walks, 4 strikeouts. Lodolo has a 4.50 ERA and 2 career starts against the Giants. But the active Giants, 11 for 51 against him. Willy Adames, 2 for 13 with a double. Matt Chapman and Wilmer Flores have both taken him deep. But this is a good one, a good opportunity. I don't really want to get to a rubber game, Trace, because we know those haven't gone the Reds' way. I mean, this is a really good opportunity. This is a matchup where I'm sure the betting lines are going to be Reds are minus money. So, man, you got a chance to win tomorrow or today, I guess.
Yeah, today.
And, man, this would be a huge win for the Reds. I mean, really would just help stabilize things, get things back on track. And then you kind of play with house money on Wednesday before you have an off day and you get to come home.
Yeah, I don't want to hear I do not want to hear the stat again uttered by the broadcast every single series that this team is incapable of winning a series after they win the first game. And I know it's coming, and I hear it right now. I don't want to do it. I'd like to break that curse. I'd like to get over that. And you know what? Even if it means we got to win another game by 1 run, the whole 1-run narrative too gets old. I'd like to just see if we can't just get right rid of both of those before this year's over. We shall find out, and we shall see. All right, we got some super chats that I've taken a long time to get to, so I apologize on that. RD711 says, Hunter's best game ever. Yeah, I actually think that's true. I think that's true. Big Z said it is not a kid show, considering that it is 12:37 in the morning. Nick's going to have to cut this out because I'm going to read it. Hunter dragged his nuts 2,380 miles across the country and landed them right on top of that shit state of California. Stud. That was a super chat. I had to read it. They're paying customers. I had to read it. My apologies for those that might be listening that are under the age of 18. But guess what? He did. He dragged his nuts straight all the way from coast to coast. And he's been dragging them for a while now. The truth of the matter is that, too, also, can I get to this? I really hope that Hunter decides he's just going to use that glove for the rest of the season. You know? Why not? I mean, they decided, hey, you know, his glove is I would have actually, if I was Hunter in a post-game press conference tonight, I would say, you know what, I would be wondering how tough of a time they would have had tonight if I actually used the other glove. I mean, they weren't able to hit it with the glove that supposedly was legal. Imagine how tough it would be for the illegal glove. Maybe that pissed him off. I don't know. Probably not, but who knows? I'd like to think it did. Ned Flanders says, don't let Blake Dunn get hot. I'm here for it. I need his WAR to be incredibly high by the end of this season to make me look like a semi-smart person. We all know that's not true. Chris Ackerman says, Green is an absolute stud, and good job, Blake Dunn. Let's win a series tomorrow. Yes, 100%. That's where we're at. That's what we need. Drew Garrison says, wait, where's the basketball hoop? You're about to see it in a minute. For some reason, I'm going to make an excuse. I'm going to make an excuse. It's not a good excuse, but I'm going to make an excuse. This week, it might kill me, but hopefully I can get through this week And by next week, I'm going to have the rest of the setup completely done to where I can have the actual camera that I set up for some reason show up on the stream. Every night I get on here, it doesn't work, and I say to myself, I'm going to get that tomorrow. That's been like 4 tomorrows in a row that I've not done that. So here we are. Honest Fan says, hashtag Free Willy, hashtag believe in Benson. Honest Fan has always been a Benson believer. He might be Benson's #1 fan, if we're being honest. And that might be Nick, Honest Fan. Honest Fan could be Nick right now while he's doing the show. Who knows? Drew Garrison chimes in again and says, if you know me, you know this language offends me. That's true. I do know that.
Tracy, you know I'm way too cheap to spend money.
That's true.
On the show that I do.
Yeah, that's true. Let me tell you a little story about let me tell you a little story about Nick, okay? We go into some gas stations from time to time, right? And it's like I think we were on that road trip, and I started to realize like Nick would get like maybe just one thing and then this, and I'd be like, Nick, what? He's like, I love these. And I'm like, you haven't gotten those one time on this trip. Like, we were talking about what candies we love. He's like, oh, I love those. And I'm like, you've not gotten those. We've stopped at 6 gas stations. You've not gotten those once. He's like, well, yeah. They were $2.30 at the last gas station. I'm not buying that. I'm like, Nick, it's a candy bar, bro. Just buy the damn thing. It's $2.30. What do you want it to be? It's $1. So if it's $1.99, you're going to buy it. But $2.30, you're out. That's what I found out. Then I also realized that Nick Kirby will also go to the Dollar General to get the sunglasses because he doesn't want to buy the sunglasses that are at NASCAR.
Hey, you know what? I mean, those sunglasses led us to a sponsorship. If I would have the NASCAR sunglasses, we'd be broke.
That's just true. This is true. Yeah, whatever. We can't go into the weeds of all this on a 12:45 at night. I am so tired right now. I can't believe that I'm trying to talk into a microphone to people that are watching. That's how tired I am. All right, we got Reds MILB. Let's do it, Nick. Hopefully they've all finished. Hopefully the games are over.
Well, you'd be happy to know there was no Reds MILB,
That's right,
but
I
put it in here tonight because the Reds play a night game tomorrow. So there's probably a lot of people that don't normally
play it today. They play it today. Quit saying tomorrow.
Today. They play on Tuesday. So Louisville, Chase Petty will be starting. That's at 6:35. Definitely always a good chance to check out the Reds' number 6 ranked prospect. Chattanooga, they played 7:15. That's their home opener is on Tuesday. Dayton, they're 0-3, but they have Florida State League Pitcher of the Year, Nestor Laurent. He's going to make his Dayton debut on Tuesday. Also, Chase Burns is starting on Friday in Dayton. That'll be his first start at Day Air Ballpark. So if you're able to, I would certainly try to get there. And then Low A Daytona, they play at 6:30. That will be the first game of the season that we'll be able to see Daytona on TV. So some good Reds MILB on Tuesday.
I just came up with a all-time thought.
Oh, boy.
After about 19 hours of being up, I think the reason that Nick is so positive has nothing to do with maybe the prospects. It's got nothing to do with the fact that he's been a Reds fan his whole life. It's got nothing to do with the fact that, you know, he's basically have found himself enjoying the process of being a Reds fan. It's that he can respect frugal when he sees it. Now that might be why Nick Kirby is the way he is. Man, a man can respect somebody that gets the absolute full value out of anybody. We got to dig into the weeds on what this guy's FB WAR percentage is just to make sure that he does earn that extra $200,000 that we're going to pay him.
Hell yeah, brother.
Nothing wrong with that, to be honest. In fact, if the world was better, I'll tell you what, if the world was like that, we'd probably be in a little bit of a better place. But, you know, we're a little bit of a consumer-driven economy where, you know, we like to buy things, even if they don't mean that we need them. All right, Nick, we got pregame shows. And it's today.
30 minutes before Reds Live, the fellas will be live at 8:30 on Tuesday night, so be sure to check them out. Alex and Sam, they're doing it again. They did it on Monday night, did a great job. Had some great nuggets in this, and the show talked about yesterday, Monday, about how you have to win game one to win these series. The Reds hadn't won enough game ones. Well, they got that win, so I'm crediting it all to Alex and Sam.
There we go. That's all that matters. Got to give somebody the credit. Might as well give it to them. All right, Nick, let's do the rituals. I have got to go to bed. I got to wake up in like 6 hours.
My day's just starting.
Yeah, I know. We're on 2 completely different times. Go ahead. Let's get this knocked out. I always get yelled at because you said don't put me on full screen. So I won't do that.
Kind of got it cleaned up. It's not pretty.
I won't do that to you. I won't do that to you. All right, folks. Here's the deal. I'm going to have to go and do the turn of the camera. It's also almost 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to have to be quiet on this one. We're going to have to be quiet. So until next time, just want to say that I love you, appreciate you. We're going to send this to the abyss, and we're going to finally have the outro ready to go. Here goes nothing.